If you're a mid-level manager or a director working hard and still getting nowhere, this video is for you. Because most of the time, it's not that you're not smart enough, or it's not that you're not working hard enough. It's that you're solving for the symptom, not the problem. And I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like through a client who came in thinking he had a delivery problem, but he didn't. And why the moment he figured out what the real problem actually was, what he needed to do next got simpler and clearer. So my client came into the session with a 5-year plan that was quietly falling apart. No one was calling him out, just that every quarter there was a small slip and then another, and slowly an avalanche of backlog that he couldn't quite explain and couldn't quite stop. He is a senior engineer, super smart, and the kind of person who was brought specifically to map out this massive modernization of a project and see it through. And 2 years ago, he did exactly that. He built a roadmap, he got the alignment, he made the commitment. The thing is, now he wasn't sure he could keep it. So he came to the session wanting to talk about the delivery, about the timelines, about how to go back to leadership and tell them how things were going, and probably that things were taking longer. He didn't want to lose credibility. So he had a whole framework in his head of how he wanted to have that conversation. But I stopped him, and not because the question wasn't real. It was, but because something felt off. It felt like he was moving fast toward a solution, and I wasn't sure he actually had named what he was trying to solve. So I asked him, what would it be the difference? What would the difference be between a situation and a problem? And he went quiet. And then he started talking, and what came out wasn't a problem statement. It was a symptom. The project might be late. His credibility might take a hit. Leadership might lose confidence. All real, all painful, but none of it was the actual problem. So we stayed with it. And I kept asking, and because of that, what's actually happening? And slowly something actually shifted. And he actually said to himself, the symptom is not the problem. It's just the outcome of the problem. And that was it. He found it. The actual problem wasn't the timeline. It was that he hadn't had the real conversation with leadership about where things stood. Not a status update, not a defense, but actually a genuine collaborative conversation. Where we are, what are we learning? Here's what I need from you. That conversation hadn't happened. And everything else, the anxiety, the spinning, the feeling that the problem was too big to solve, that was just downstream of that. So once he saw that, the whole thing got smaller. He knew his next step. He wrote down the problem clearly. He found his allies, opened the conversation before it became a surprise. He left the session with the next step, not a solution to an unsolvable problem. And here's what I see all the time with smart, capable managers. They're not stuck because they can't solve the problem. They're actually stuck because they're solving the symptom. The project is late is a symptom. The team is frustrated is a symptom. I might lose credibility is a symptom. And symptoms feel urgent, so we throw all our energy at them, but they won't move because the actual problem is still seating unnamed. So what I want you to sit with is, what is one thing you've been working the hardest on lately? And have you actually named the problem, or are you only solving for the symptoms? And again, if you're a mid-level manager or a director-level leader, and you're sitting with a problem right now that won't move no matter how hard you work on it, let's talk. Book a strategy call with me. The link is in the description. So this week, pick one thing that feels stuck. Write it down, what you think the problem is. Then ask yourself one question. Is this the problem, or is this what the problem is causing? See what's underneath it. That's where the movement is.